Here's a toy line you won't see reviewed on Ryan's Toy Review. Let's look at action figures based on porn stars.
This is just a fair warning. This video is about porn action figures, so you might see some pictures or hear some stuff that's disturbing to your virgin ears. So this is a warning. Don't get offended.
Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with a series of videos I like to do called Searching for the Worst. This is where we try to find the worst action figure line ever made. We looked at Hunter Dan, the Hunter figures. We saw superheroes based on NSYNC, or maybe it was the Backstreet Boys. We've seen a lot of bad toy lines. So make sure you check out the other ones. But we got one for you today. I'm not even sure who would buy these. Who would want these in their house? Someone that doesn't have their parents or anyone else coming over, I guess. Someone that lives alone. These are action figures based on porn stars. Yeah, I didn't say pawn stars. No, this isn't an action figure based on Chum-Li. This isn't a Rick Harris action figure. Porn stars. And when I say porn stars, I mean porn stars. I don't mean people on OnlyFans. Don't you miss when they had storylines in their movies? They just get right to the action. But anyway, there was a toy company called Plastic Fantasy Toys. And in the early 2000s, they made action figures based on porn stars. I don't know how many times I can say that. And again, warning, this video might get graphic at times while we look at these figures. They actually come with removable clothes. But don't worry, I don't have any pictures of them without the clothes on. But yeah, I don't know why anyone would buy an action figure and take the clothes off of it. Now, they're all female also. There's no Ron Jeremy with removable panties or anything like that. And if I was going to do this line, I would do them in action poses. Maybe it comes with a man and a girl. You put them in action pose. I can see that. But anyway, these were the superstars of the porn industry back in the early 2000s. So let's dig into it and take a look at a few of them. There was an action figure based on Chloe, who was in such film as Deep Inside Chloe. How they come up with that title, I'll never know. But here she is as her action figure. I think the only person having action with this is the person that bought it. And then there was, I don't know how to pronounce this, Enraka Vouch. I'm not really sure how to say this, but she was in such hit films as Stroking to the Oldies. I don't think this is the sequel to Sweating to the Oldies. I think that's a whole different thing.
This is my brand new aerobic workout tape, Sweating to the Oldies. And if you don't like having fun, well, you best not come in here. Whoa!
And then there was Agent Carrera. I feel a little bit racist for just saying that name. But she starred in such films as Samurai 2, Pervert. And here she is in her action figure form. And then there was Jameson St. Clair, who you may have seen in such hit films as United We Stand, Divided We Brawl, some kind of wrestling movie. And here's a figure based on her, not the character from United We Stand, Divided We Brawl. And then there was a figure based on Sunrise Adams, who you may remember from the hit film Off the Hook. And then there was Divine Lane, who you may remember from the hit film Beautiful Bounty. She uses all her assets to get her man. Then there was Caroline Ireland, who you may know from the classic horror film Huge Wackenstein. And then there's Ginger Lynn, who you may know from the hit movie Trashy Lady. And probably the most famous of all these, and they made a lot of figures of this one, was one based on Jenna Jameson, who you could get this figure in all different kinds, different outfits, cheerleader, maybe a nurse, I'm not really sure. You could even get her dressed up like Santa Claus or an elf or something, a Christmas edition. You could even get her in all red. I don't really understand. And here's some of the action figures from Jenna Jameson, who went on to do more mainstream movies, like the film starring Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger, Zombie Strippers. That was outrageous, sexy fun. But as you can see here, there's many different action figures of her in all kinds of different outfits. And again, with removable clothes and fully detailed. Now this toy line was founded by Jerry Macaluso. Jerry ain't gonna work here anymore. Let's see. Jerry Macaluso. Who was in the film industry and not the porn industry. He worked on Spawn, Dark Man, and some other things, and actually worked with McFarlane a lot. 2001, he started up a company called State of the Art Toys, which made toys aimed to collectors based on films and video games. In 2006, he sold the toy company Plastic Fantasies, the one that was making the porn action figures, to First Media, LLC. And not too long after that, First Media went bankruptcy. Now, I don't think these action figures were sold at Toys R Us. Could be wrong, but they was probably sold at specialty shops, maybe comic book stores. But they were also sold online, as you can see from this website right here. The website is no longer working, but as you can see, you could order them off the website. And there's a lot of figures that we didn't get into here. I mean, did you really want to see the whole complete line? But let's take a look at the figures itself. They're very 2000 collectible looking. I don't know, something about this time period. There was a lot of action figures that just had this basic look. And I said they were action figures, but they were more like statues. They didn't really do much. And this was really common. It seemed like a bunch of smaller toy companies started up trying to get a hold of the toy collectors in the early 2000s. And although I'm making fun of them here, they do look okay for the time period. But again, I don't really know who this market was for. I guess people that were really into porn or porn actresses. There was no men in this line. That sounds kind of sexist. I mean, there's men in the movies, right? There's no action figure of John Holmes or Ron Jeremy or Buddy Badinsky. Maybe one day someone can bring it back. But I just can't imagine someone buying these and putting them in their collection with the other figures. Or I don't know where you would keep these. You don't want people to come over and see. Now, Jenna Jameson, which kind of became more of, she did little B movies and stuff. She became more well known. I might could see that. But really, you want a whole line of every porn star? It just seems a little creepy to me. But I do a lot of creepy stuff, so I'm not going to sit here and judge someone else for collecting creepy action figures. I mean, there was one time I put a frozen banana in my sock, and I'll save that for another story down the road. But I don't know. This is the worst action figure line ever? Probably not. But it sure is weird and crazy and odd. But that's a look at adult superstar action figures. Feel kind of dirty watching this. But who else is going to tell you about porn action figures than the Junkman? Thank you for watching. Thumbs up on my content. Subscribe to the channel. Talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.